Okay, I'm going to be modifying this village to suit the geopolitical game, and I just realised that I haven't. Well, I stuffed up already. I did say in the description that I'd try not to say Anyway, so I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to be modifying this, and what I've done is I've copied and pasted the town in its large scale. I'm going to do the subterranean. And so one of the things I try to do is I try to keep uniformity and make it so that the subterranean matches the above ground. Now, you might see that it's zoomed in a little bit. I mean, look, this could be boring for some people, not really wanting to know what goes on behind the scenes. And there's not much I can do about it except for show you can just tune out anytime you like. It's not going to really affect most of the player base. If somebody wants to be the lord of a village, it may be that they're going to need to know how to take a map that has all the, like say for example, taking the ruin through to completion. So I'm going to just keep stripping out the above ground and try to get to a point where it's clean of the previous above ground aspects of the map, because this is going to be subterranean level 1. So subterranean level 1, and I need to just mute that because I think that can get quite annoying. Anyway, so I'm just copying and pasting over the top of the stonework that I put in previously for the above ground. So it's a bit time consuming, but what I'm hopefully going to achieve is the look of the subterranean level. So let's keep working through. So some of this is just really repetitive and it can get quite boring for me. I sometimes listen to audiobooks, or I might listen to documentaries, something that isn't visual, because while I'm working on this I can't really turn around and look at the screen. So there's a couple of little tricks I did find that I can do, which is to ungroup groups of things. That can sometimes help. And this is sometimes the easiest way to do it, just to strip it back and paste over the top of a copied one so that I can effectively restore it back to nothing except for the buildings in the right locations, so that I can have the same layout beneath the surface as what it was above surface. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense. Quite frequently I don't make sense unless I actually visually explain it as well. There's lots of ways you could do it. And as I said, Excel is not the most suitable program for the job. There's plenty of other ones. Now, another way I've managed to do it in the past is to cut and then paste. So cutting and pasting, and then pasting over the top of it with other as you can see, it's just creating a stack of cut and pasted things. So, and it's only when there's there are merged cells that it becomes a problem. So it might be best that I just, well, so that's another way as well that I could have shown you before, which is that you merge cells into one and then unmerge it. And what that does is it, in the merging and unmerging, it strips contents, but as you can see that's now taking a long time to process compared to simply pasting over the top of it with nothing cells. So when dealing with stripping it back, I could, it's supposed to be you start from the ground up in terms of the planning. You build it from the bottom up, foundations and things like this. But unfortunately, I'm really just, it's about aesthetics, not really about whether it's structurally sound or not. I'm not really trying to create a simulation, just trying to represent. So as you can see, that was just effectively emptying the bin. So the cutting and paste method seems to work the best out of all the ways that I've tried. For some reason it's showing these lines underneath. I've noticed that for a while whenever I've been doing this kind of removal, it seems to remove, it seems to result in there being these lines beneath the surface. So that doesn't really make much sense. But anyway, moving forward, I do realise that I ramble a lot, and maybe I will be better off just answering questions like an FAQ or something like that, so that I can stay focused on answering the question while I'm doing repetitive tasks. So we might try that as well. Anyway, so yes, there's a bit of repetition in some of these things, but as I've said before, hopefully I'm not going to have to do this a second or a third time. This is hopefully the last time I will have to do some of this modification work. The main thing is that I can see the end in sight with all the work that I've done so far. It's I don't really need to do much, really just tidy it all up and put it into a presentable form, because all the hard work's been done already. So yes, I can just say nothing. That's another option as well, that I don't just keep rambling, that I could simply just click away and process it while I'm talking. It's not going to make it the most entertaining thing for other people to watch. I'm not really sure on what sort of look I'm going for there. And I suppose it's just, I want to reassure people that I'm not just sitting on my arse, and that a lot of the development that I've talked about has already been completed, and that it will be finished. It will be finished at some point. It will hopefully be finished sooner than later. all the things I've sort of claimed about the development are, I think it's hopefully pretty obvious that this has met the expectations that people may have, or that some of the claims that I've made about the work that I've done. So, and hopefully it'll all come together in the geopolitical that I want to do. So, yeah, so many things, I can talk about and ramble about. But yes, I'm just doing this as a live stream rather than just sitting and clicking buttons and maybe listening to a documentary. Whether or not I should just watch that documentary and stop posting content like this, that's another option as well. If people don't like the content, they don't have to watch it. Again, there's record keeping, there's all sorts of reasons why, just for my own records and showing the development that I've made. So even if this is just for myself and a small number of other people who want to know and want to see, then maybe that's enough. Maybe I should just reduce my expectations to the point where I'm happy, and if I'm happy, that's all that matters. So, as you can see, just cutting away, just trimming off all the information that's not going to be part of the subterranean level 1. So yeah, when I went back into some of these old files that I've had kicking around for years, I realized that some of them aren't as complete as they should be, and also that some of them have been superseded by other files that I really just haven't done some, some bookkeeping in terms of like removing old content, updating when I've made some changes that are we're talking a lot of files here, so I'm not kicking myself too hard about not having kept up with some of these things. But seeing as I want to go live with this very shortly, I need to get it done. So I'm just going to empty the bin, effectively. Just copy, paste, 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 and just remove, oops, except for that. Yeah, so I'm just moving around the map and deleting all this content that is going to get in the way. Now, as you can see, we've got a return of the lines underneath. It's not making much sense as to why they're sometimes appearing, sometimes not. But that's simply solved by doing that and no fill. So just moving along, progressively emptying the bin. Was a lucky one. So yeah, I'm not the most accurate with some of these things. I've realised that I need to zoom in a little bit so that you can see what I'm seeing. But unfortunately, if I zoom in too much, then I won't be able to focus and concentrate on what I'm trying to do. So, just doing it. Oops. Now, undo sometimes takes a long time, so I try not to use undo if I can help it. Sometimes it's just easier to start again. As in, sorry, copy and paste a totally new version of whatever it is that I've just accidentally deleted over the top of. But yes, you can see that you can get quite a bit done just by maneuvering around, deleting over the top of it with nothing but empty fill. And then I'll zoom back out and I'll show what that's like. So it was this triangle duplicated and copied over here. As you can see over here, that's the old version there. I'm actually considering stripping out most of this. I might as well do that now so you can see how I can do it. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit one step and then select and drag it over and then delete it. So and of course I just realized that I've stuffed up. It might not seem like I don't go very far without making mistakes. So what a mistake I just made was effectively that this, I'm going to just do this again and I'll show you, may as well show you where I've stuffed up. So I'm going to copy that, then I'm going to insert that. So effectively what I just created was a sublevel 2. So what I'm after is a sublevel 1, and that means that what I need to have is I need to only strip out the brown, which is the wooden houses, and the green, which is the yards and things, and I need to focus on just including the fortifications and the basements of any stone building. So it takes a bit of time to paste so many. The main thing is every single cell in the wall, it's a 1 foot scale wall. We've talked about that before, that the calculation, so when I'm pasting not just, it's not just an image, I'm pasting every single calculation that's on this map. So there are a few. So just waiting. I know I'm really happy with my computer, but it certainly, I'm pushing it to its limits. You can't see the counter going, but there's a pasting comments that says escape to abort, and we're cruising through the 9,700, 9,800, 10,000. So this is the number of calculations and comments and things like this. So it's pasting the comments now, and I'll just say when it's finished, it's up to 11,000. And still going. Up to 12,000. Okay, we're going past 13,000. So there's a lot of blocks, and as I said, every block has a calculation. Every block has a comment as well, so that's also part of it. So still going at 14,000. Just clicked over to 15,000. So sometimes this is not a perfect opportunity to go get a coffee or just to relax, do something else, have a stretch. Going past, coming up to 17,000. 17,000 now. Yeah, so yeah, when I stripped away, generally what I do is I slowly strip away the contents. So there we go, it's just appeared on the screen. And so what I'm going to do now is just go through, and I'm going to not do what I just did before. I'm going to just strip away the fortifications and the wooden structures. Okay, so all these wooden ones, they can go. So I may just zoom in some more. So I will get around to making the internal layouts. Although, as I've said previously, I might just leave that alone. It's not my problem. I need to focus on just the aspects of the geopolitical that are my responsibility, and let other people create content if they want to. I mean, anybody who learns how to use this particular the way that I'm doing things in Excel, if they learn to use that, then I think I've said this previously in another video, that people could sell their services to other people and create this content for them. So not everyone has to learn how to do it. So I mean, it's handy, but the thing is, it's not necessary. Right, so getting there. So these ones here, for example, they need to remain. These ones don't. So I can cut all that. I think one of the main things is I am not differentiating between, well, in order to differentiate between the fortifications and the the basements of, say, just a normal stone building is that I have not been putting them into the sub basement level if there would. I mean, they don't go into the sub 3, although it is possible for somebody to build a sub 3 if they wanted to. So yes, you know, as I said, this is a bit of an error, a bit of a mistake, and I get used to them. They happen. I don't kick myself too hard. You know, the main thing is that I just keep going. You know, if I make a mistake, I just keep going. It's like there's no point in dwelling on it. You can just keep kicking yourself and kicking yourself, and it doesn't achieve anything except for make you feel bad. So yeah, I don't. So really wish I knew why that line appears, but not something I need to dwell on right now. Okay, so we're getting there. I'm going to just keep deleting and removing, extracting. Except for things like that. Yeah, so as I said, I'd sometimes keep the formatting, sometimes I just get rid of it by, if they're merged cells, unmerge them and work with them in an unmerged state. Now this one here is a bit tricky. What I might do is just go and copy that, and that's 39, and then I'm just going to paste, and then change it to 39. Okay, so continuing on. So I have to consider like the repetitiveness of some of these things that I'm doing. Because I don't particularly want to have some kind of repetitive strain injury. I sometimes feel it that I may be doing that to myself, and then after some days I've basically put in so much time and effort that my hands are tired and sore, and I've got these concerns about whether I'm hurting myself by pushing on. Sometimes you get on a roll and it's like, well, suddenly it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you've been working for 5 hours. So it doesn't take much to hurt yourself without meaning to. I actually found that I hurt my back from having good posture. So what I think happened was that I had good posture for too long, when in fact I should have been sometimes sloppy posture and sometimes good posture, and not just had good posture for hours on end. So it does happen. So the other thing is that the size of the, as you can see now, I'm pasting into these positions and just pasting over the top of, so that works as well. Look, some of these things might be really sort of basic to some people, but you know, really using Excel for things it's not designed for, including that, you know, maybe not many people use Excel in this way to have to do these repetitive keystrokes. And I know that there's probably some hotkeys or something I can dabble with that would make it so I can do these things faster, but I have not yet. Okay, so I'll just cut all that, put it over there. Continuing, almost there, and the mistake that I made before is almost undone. Don't know what I'm doing wrong with some of these. Anyway, we'll just keep going. Right. Getty there. So hopefully I'm not going to make too many more of these mistakes during the live stream. The whole point is to maybe just, you know, get some credibility rather than lose credibility. Now back to this one here. We can just call that 26 as well. So 26. Yeah, so I realise that maybe I need to not do the live streams when I'm tired. I tend to already say a fair bit, but last night was bloody ridiculous. So I didn't want to really watch it, but I didn't want to delete it because, again, I'm trying to prove that I can do it live stream. and then I need to accept mistakes. And I mean, if I was to just delete it, then, you know, really, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that some people don't want to watch crap, so. But then again, the simple solution to that is don't watch it. I'm doing the best I can. Not perfect, blah 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 blah. Right. I'm going to zoom out and have a look. It's looking good. Now the center, oh, there's still some in the center. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this here and plonk it down. Right on top. Okay, so that's going to take a bit of time. It's now going up and it's pasting components, and we're up to 1172 components just for that small paste. So that should give an idea of why the other one took so long. Okay. Now, of course, the other thing is that we don't have doorways underground, so I can delete those doorways. So I'm just going to paste into a block. Oh, sorry, paste over the doorways. I'm just going to have to go through and do the same thing to each of them. Now, of course, the next problem with that is, and I'm going to undo that. So you can see it takes a bit of time to undo some of these mistakes. So when I hit undo, it's not instantaneous because every single cell that I've just pasted is now being it has to recalculate, uncalculate, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so let's get back to the reason I stopped there was that I need to paste that again. So all this needs to go. So delete. It takes a bit of time, but deleting takes less time than it takes to, you know, what's going on here. That there needs to also be deleted. Okay. So now I'm going to copy that and then paste insert cells. So I'm inserting, not pasting. And so now we've got one of those big calculations, but this time it's not going to be as many calculations. So we surpassed, I think we got up to 18,000, something like that. Now because we've stripped out, there we go, it's just appeared, so that wasn't too bad. So yes, when it comes to pasting without all those walls, every single cell having its own, note or comment, is a bit of a pain. Now I'm going to do something here, which is to, well, I've got to zoom in a bit more. Okay, now I decided I'm going to put a black line in that cell just to differentiate between, that's sub 1, now this is sub 2. Now with sub 2 I'm going to simply remove all these. I'm going to remove all these stone ones that aren't fortifications. And then I'm going to put corridors in between. Now, I've already got the corridor layer, but I'm making these modifications to the map that are fairly significant. So, yeah, the old one won't do. I may be able to salvage some of it, but I'm not going to be able to salvage all of it. And sometimes just starting from scratch is the only way. So, okay. So now I've stripped all of the town ones. Now you can see the map over here and how it has the same buildings in place, except for 26. What's going on with 26? So 26 is, well, for some reason 26 is still in the map over here. Anyway, no matter. So the complication of this map, let's just try something. We'll go and pull a 20 by 40 and put a 20 by 40 over the top of that. Okay, so that worked. It may be that I don't have to completely redo everything. So that's that map there. Then there's this one here. So again, I'm going to put a line of black. And then I'm going to get stuck into this. Now, one of the problems that I had, I think that was because of the fortification. So anyway, so now I'm going to go through and I'm not sure what's going on there. We need to hide this somehow. I don't particularly want this stuff to come up. Anyway, so okay, I don't think there's any way I can do this aside from manual. Simply pasting the 10 by 10s, replacing them with ones that have no doors. Yeah, there's not any other solution I can see. I'm going to have to go back and put doorways into that one over there, because you might have noticed that there are no doors and there are no the actual build has I've not put I've not used the same rendered. Okay, it's basically using blocks, and it's not actually having calculations in the blocks. So I'll just show you what I mean. Right, so that's what I mean. So these ones here are just simply merge cells with no fortification aspect to them. So with no calculation, no comments, no those things included in it. So yeah, I need to go back and put the doorways in, but anyway, some of these repetitive tasks, I know that I don't have to talk. You can just do it and not talk. And I could just stop waffling. But I don't know. I'm not sure what people want. So may as well just keep doing what I'm doing. And if people don't like it, they can let me know, or just not listen. Okay. I think that's done. Maybe one more over here. No, we did that too. Okay, so I'm going to do this on two. I'm going to do this on two windows. Okay, let's do it. So over here, what we've got to start with is I may as well do all the 20 by 20s first. So I'm going to do the first one, and then I'm going to strip out the number. I don't think it's necessary at this point. Okay, I think we've almost done it. Right, so that's all the 20 by 20s. Now let's just do all the 10 by 10s. But in this case, I need to look at the doorways. So we can just simply do that, and then I can go over here and copy one of those and smash it in like that. So and then we've got different ones. So the different ones, well, let's just not do that. Let's try and make a different one. So we'll do this, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do this. So maybe it's best that I do them without having any doorways at all. So undo that, redo that. So the doorways can always go in later, because the doorways are all on different sides of the So now the reason I'm redoing some of this and not just adding extra detail to it, I'm just going to get rid of this. It's not really much point. Okay. Is that the sewers and things like this are in the wrong place. Initially I was thinking, well, for a large fortification like a village, hamlet, farm, as they progress up in size, that they would need multiple sewers, and of course they need multiple sewers, as in in terms of like a septic tank, things like that. But what I realised is that I need to do the granary, the cistern, and the sewer, and not just focus on taking up space with one thing. So that's why I've stripped them out and put in this other. I'm going to do it. I haven't done it yet. That's what I've started this mapping live stream for. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, because I'm prone to error if I am too far out. Additionally prone to error. Okay, getting there. Okay, so let's have a look at this and see what we can see. Yeah, it's a bit of a rabbit warren underneath some of these fortifications. So what we've got here is I'm trying to represent some kind of, well, it's not perfect in terms of being a sewer, or being the subterranean level of anything. I mean, there's so many really cool dungeon crawls that people have created over the years, and this is not one of them. Oh yeah, it's alright. there's lots of ways that you can do dungeon crawls, and so yes. What's a dungeon crawl got to do with geopolitical? Well, the main thing is that I'm just wanting to get this done now before I put the mapping into the geopolitical, because I want people to be able to rebuild this. So I can't destroy it until I've rebuilt it, until I've built it, I should say. So what I'm doing now is trying to construct. So alright, so what we've got here is a village, and with village, so what I've done with farms is that there are 10 foot by 10 foot for the sewer, and then for a hamlet they are 20 by 20, and then what I've done with villages is I've made them 30 by 30. So in terms of where to put them, you know, I don't particularly want to make it so that there's a water supply near a sewer. Alright, so that's a 30 by 30 there. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and, well, alright, well we can do it here. So that's 28, that's 30 by 30. So I'll copy that, paste that. Well, I can paste it here. There's no reason why not. So pasting, oops. I'll do that again. Okay, so that's 30 by 30. And then I'm pasting that. And then copying that, and pasting that. Now I'm also making it so that it's got a double wall at the front here. So that's now, whoops. Okay, that's 30 by 30 with a double thickness between at the corridor. So I'm going to call that sewer. Before I do that, I'm going to verify what size I need to make it. So let's just call it 36. I'm starting to like this here, this font. Sewer, for some reason it's gone to a grey. Oops. Okay, sewer, and then up here I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to try and estimate. Okay, 30 by 30, paste, and there you are. So that's now saying sewer, but it will soon say cistern, and then granary. Alright, so now I've just inserted the cistern and the granary, and the final thing I need to do is copy that and then paste that and put in, that's the crypt. Alright, so we don't need that, so I can Okay, so that's that. Now, what I've got is the cistern, granary, crypt, and sewer done. And now I can simply go over here and I can delete all that. Well, I did make a mistake, and that is that the little comment up here that says sublevel 2. So I need to do this. I didn't need to do it that much, so let's just go down a step. Okay, so all we need to do is just copy that and insert that. So now it's going away, pasting comments 13, 14. This is 13, 1400, so up to 2000, 2100. Okay, 2500, 28, 29, 3000. Okay, so there's 3,346 cells in what I just pasted. Anyway, sublevel 3. Oh, and another thing is the vault. Now, it never really ends, does it? So, what I've forgotten is that there needs to be a vault in each town, hamlet, farm, and village. The vault is where people put their taxes so that they can be picked up by the Lord, or there can be transactions can be made from there. People can put their tax, their guild fees, their religious tithes in there, and then they can be taken from there by authorized parties. So it's a vault that's like a communal vault, and I haven't got one. So I just realized that that's something I've forgotten. So looks like I'm going to have to go and update farms, villages, farms, hamlets, and village 1, and also this one here. And I may as well just do it now. But it doesn't need to be done during this live stream. This live stream's been going on for quite a while, for over an hour. So I've got a little bit of fixing to do and to add the vault to each of these. So anyway, I'm not sure if I've bored people to tears, but that's the best I can do for the moment, is just to keep working away, and I may as well work and talk at the same time. You can just tune out and just have a look at the visuals. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I can do, but if people have any questions and they'd like me to stay focused on answers to their questions, then I can do that. I should be able to continue to work away and answer questions at the same time. Anyway, no worries. Thank you for being here, and if anyone's got any wants to find out any more information, then they can look at renegadelarp.com.